Happy Monday, AP. We're happy to be coming to you with a new episode of Knightline News.
Broadcasting from the state-of-the-art facilities here at Academy Park World News Headquarters. I am Jameer.
And I am Jim. Today is February 27th, and it is a day one.
And now, here's Russell with today's weather.
Thank you, Jameer. Today there will be a high of 49 degrees with a low of 36, and it will be partly cloudy this morning with increasing clouds and periods of shower this afternoon. And now, Jameer and Jim, what are some of the things happening here at AP that students should know about?
Thank you, Russell. Happy Black History Month, everybody. We'll bring you historical highlights a little later in the show.
We hope you take advantage of opportunities this month to celebrate the historical accomplishments of Black Americans.
And now for news. Students, submissions for the Black History Month writing contest must be turned in. You may compose an original essay or poem about an African American that you consider a hero.
Completed essays should be turned in to Mrs. Cluza in the library tomorrow, Tuesday, February 28th. Look for flyers around campus.
In addition, submissions for the Black History Month art contest are due. You may create a piece of art that either highlights or draws attention to accomplishments of one or more individuals who had an impact during the struggle for equality and civil rights.
The choice of medium is up to you. Paint, draw, sculpt, or photograph. Please include the following in your project:
a title, a brief summary describing your art or what you are trying to highlight, your name and grade.
Again, completed art projects should be turned in to Mrs. Cluza in the library tomorrow, Tuesday, February 28th.
Junior prom announcement. The junior prom has been moved from April 28th to May 12th. It will be located at the Lazaretto Ballroom from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Please note the change of date. The new date for the junior prom is May 12th. Tickets will go on sale in April. See you there.
Seniors, scan the QR codes that you see around the building or check the Class Go Classroom to fill out the form for class trip suggestions. We're using this to gauge where students would like to go.
Students, if you have not done so already, please sign up for clubs. Fill out the forms across from the office to sign up. Clubs are filling up.
Free equipment for sports, gym classes, fitness activities, and recess.
Leveling the Playing Field is a nonprofit organization in Darby Township, just a few blocks from Academy Park.
They collect new and gently used sports and playground equipment from local sports community to provide an affordable and accessible option to under-resourced youth groups, community programs, and schools throughout the local area.
They are happy to support all of our schools throughout the district. This means teachers and coaches can set appointments to go and look for equipment whenever they need to.
If you have any questions, the program director, Danielle Miller, can be reached at danielle@levelingtheplayingfield.org.
And now, here are Miriam and Kelly with your horoscopes for today.
Thank you, Jameer. For today's horoscopes, if you are Aries, a romantic relationship may develop through school-related activities.
Taurus, even if you cannot help someone in need, your support will be appreciated. Offer love and affection instead of conflict and rejection.
Gemini, don't go out of your way to impress others. You can mesmerize anyone you meet with your cultured attitude and outlook.
Cancer, you need a change of pace. Focus on things you can do around the house to organize your life.
Leo, make sure that you talk to people and listen carefully before forming opinions about them. You might be pleasantly surprised.
Virgo, your persuasive nature will win the heart of someone you had your eyes on.
Libra, new opportunities will open themselves to you if you pick up additional skills.
Scorpio, take time to try your hand at writing today, whether it's non-texting correspondence, poetry, or keeping a journal.
Sagittarius, you can make the most headway if you put in some overtime.
Capricorn, overstating your case will be your downfall. False information is likely if you listen to idle chatter or gossip.
Aquarius, you should get into some of those creative hobbies that you always said you wanted to do.
Pisces, your leadership qualities will come in handy. Be tactful if you see flaws in someone else's work.
That is all for today's horoscopes. Now back to Jameer and Jim for more news.
Thank you, Callie and Miriam. Hey students, remember that you should not be in the halls without a pass nor with your hoods up.
Any student that is caught with a hood up or without a pass will be given a warning and sent to the auditorium for immediate suspension. So remember, Knights, get to class on time and keep those hoods off.
Poetry contest. The 34th annual Young Poets of Delaware County contest is here and seeking submissions. All children in grades 1 through 12 who live or attend a school in Delaware County may submit one original poem. First, second, and third place winners in each grade level will be chosen.
Winning poems will be published in the Delco Library's annual poetry anthology, and winning poets and their families are invited to an award ceremony and reading in May.
Important announcement for seniors. Please nominate yourself or your peers for senior superlatives.
Additionally, please send in your quote or comment and picture. Both forms can be found on the Class of 2023 Google Classroom page.
And finally, if you're interested in purchasing the memory page in the yearbook or have any questions about superlatives, quotes, or pictures, see Mrs. Cluza in the library.
And now, in honor of Black History Month, here are Kali and Miriam with This Day in Black History.
Thank you, Jim. As we come to the close of Black History Month, we would like to pay respect to one man and one woman who feature prominently in the history of Black experience in America. Today we will discuss Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman.
Frederick Douglass was an American social reformer, abolitionist, orator, writer, and statesman. After escaping from slavery in Maryland, he became a national leader of the abolitionist movement in Massachusetts and New York, gaining note for his oratory and incisive anti-slavery writings.
In his time, he was described by abolitionists as a living counter-example to slaveholder arguments that slaves lacked the intellectual capacity to function as independent American citizens. Northerners at the time found it hard to believe that such a great orator has once been a slave.
Douglass wrote several autobiographies. He described his experience as a slave in his 1845 autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, which became a bestseller and was influential in promoting the cause of abolition, as was his second book, My Bondage and My Freedom, written in 1855.
Douglass was a firm believer in equality of all people, whether white, black, female, Native American, or Chinese immigrants. He was also a believer in dialogue and making all alliances across racial and ideological divides in the liberal values of the U.S. Constitution.
With radical abolitionists under the motto, "No Union with Slaveholders," criticized Douglass' willingness to engage in dialogue with slave owners. He replied, I would unite with anybody to do right and with nobody to do wrong.
And now a few words on Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was an American abolitionist and political activist born into slavery. Tubman escaped and made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people, including family and friends, using the network of anti-slavery activists and safe house known as the Underground Railroad.
During the American Civil War, she served as an armed scout and spy for the Union Army. In her late years, Tubman was an activist in the struggle for women's suffrage.
In 1849, Tubman escaped to Philadelphia, then immediately returned to Maryland to rescue her family. Slowly, one group at a time, she brought relatives with her out of state and eventually guided a dozen of other slaves to freedom.
Traveling by night and in extreme secrecy, Tubman, or Moses as she was called, never lost a passenger. After the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 was passed, she helped guide fugitives further north into British North America, Canada, and helped newly freed slaves find work.
When the Civil War began, Tubman worked for the Union Army first as a cook and a nurse, and then as an armed scout and a spy. The first woman to lead an armed expedition in the war, she guided a raid that liberated more than 700 slaves.
After the war, she retired to the family home on property she had purchased in 1859 in Auburn, New York, where she cared for her aging parents. She was active in the women's suffrage movement until illness took over her. After her death in 1913, she became an icon of courage and freedom.
And those were your Black History Month highlights for today. And now back to Jameer and Jim with some sports history and birthday news.
Thank you, Callie and Miriam. Today, almost 100 years ago, on 1927, the Supreme Court unanimously upheld the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, which guaranteed the right for women to vote.
On this day in 1947, the 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified. This amendment stopped any president from serving more than one term.
And on the lighter side, it's also National Pancake Day. So, to start your day off with some pancakes for breakfast or have them for dinner.
On today, February 27th, there are a couple of Knights' birthdays as well as one famous birthday.
First, everyone knows John Steinbeck, the famous author of Advice to Men. Today is his birthday. It is also a fellow Knights, Patrick Nuffil and Aubrey Nguyen's birthday. Happy birthday.
And happy belated birthday, Miss Cope. She finally turned 25 last week on February 23rd.
She's definitely 25.
We
hope you all have a great day. That is all for your news today. Remember, Knights, keep those electronics out of sight, those hoods off, those IDs visible, and only clear backpacks in classrooms.
Thanks to Mr. Russo's journalism class for their contribution today. And remember, if you have an announcement that you would like to see included in our Knightline News broadcast, please email a completed draft of the announcement to Dr. Russ.
Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day, Knights.